will not put my finger on the scale of justice. These proceedings will be open to the public, conducted in accordance with the law, and handled with diligence and competence to ensure that justice is never compromised. It is the standing order of this court that Mr. Robinson shall be allowed to appear in person so he can fully engage with his attorneys and participate in these legal proceedings.
The courtroom may seem like the stage for justice, but in the case of Tyler Robinson, it feels like the stage for secrecy, for delay, and for unanswered questions. He is 22 years old, a young man accused of a crime so severe it has sent shockwaves through politics, media, and the very fabric of American life. The charge is clear. Prosecutors say he killed Charlie Kirk, the conservative firebrand who, for years, stood as one of the most polarizing voices in American culture. But what is less clear, what remains unsettling, is why every step of this case seems wrapped in silence, hesitation, and shadows. Think about what just happened in his latest hearing. Tyler Robinson appeared virtually, shielded by a screen, his face hidden, his voice silent. He gave nothing to the public, no glimpse into the man accused of pulling the trigger at a university rally, no reaction, no acknowledgement. For those who watched, it was not justice unfolding, it was absence, a void. And yet that void tells its own story. Why is he being allowed to disappear in plain sight? Why are we, the public, asked to accept this silence while the charges grow louder and heavier? These are not minor charges. This is aggravated murder, the most serious accusation the state can make, paired with felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and even committing violence in the presence of a child. Every one of those charges has weight. Together, they describe a man prosecutors portray as deliberate, dangerous, and willing to cross every moral and legal line. And now they say they will pursue the death penalty. The death penalty is not just a punishment, it is the state saying this man is beyond redemption, that his alleged act was so calculated and destructive that only death can satisfy justice. But even that raises its own disturbing question. If the attack was politically motivated, as prosecutors argue, are we now entering a future where politics and death sentences collide in open court? Consider how the defense has responded. They are no longer a small local team. Robinson now has lead attorney Catherine Nestor, along with two experienced California lawyers, Michael Burt and Richard Novak, both known for their work in high-profile cases, both with backgrounds in death penalty defense. Why such powerful reinforcements? What is it about this case that has drawn in seasoned attorneys from across state lines? Is it because the case is larger than Robinson himself, larger than one man accused of one crime? Or is it because they see something in the evidence, something that suggests the narrative being told publicly may not be the entire truth? The defense has already asked for more time, citing the complexity of the evidence. More time means more waiting, more delays for a public that feels robbed not only of Charlie Kirk, but of transparency in the pursuit of justice. And yet the judge confirmed that these proceedings will remain public. Public. But what does public even mean when the accused can hide his face, when the story is filtered through lawyers, through statements, through headlines, while the man at the center of it all remains silent? What are we not seeing? What is being shielded? Why is it that in one of the most politically explosive cases of the decade, the accused is allowed to vanish behind a digital curtain while families, supporters, and citizens watch with anger and confusion? This is not just about justice. This is about power, control, and narrative. And that narrative feels incomplete. Now think about Charlie Kirk. For years, he was a loud, divisive figure, beloved by many, despised by others, but never ignored. He shaped debates, influenced elections, and stood as a symbol of the culture wars gripping the United States. His presence on a university campus was never neutral. To his supporters, it was a rallying cry for free speech and conservative values. To his critics, it was a provocation, a challenge, a disruption. And then, at one of those rallies, violence erupted, and Charlie Kirk was gone. But why? Why did it come to this? Was it truly political, as prosecutors say? Was it personal? Was it both? Did Tyler Robinson act out of ideology, out of rage, out of calculation? Or is there more here that has not been revealed? The presence of a child during the crime only deepens the horror. What kind of environment was this? What does it mean when political rallies meant to be places of debate become places of trauma, places where children witness unspeakable acts? Every corner of this case seems designed to provoke questions without answers. Prosecutors say premeditation, they say ideology, they say calculated violence, but the defense insists on delays, on careful review, on secrecy. And meanwhile, the public is left to speculate, to fill in the gaps, to question whether justice is being pursued openly or managed quietly, strategically, behind closed doors. This case is no longer just about a man accused of murder. It has become a mirror, reflecting back at us the fractures in society. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about politics, about justice, about how anger, division, and extremism can fester until they explode in violence. And it forces us to ask again and again whether society itself failed. Did we fail Charlie Kirk? Did we fail the people who trusted in open political debate? Did we fail Tyler Robinson, who, at just 22, now faces the possibility of execution? Or did we fail ourselves by letting division run so deep that murder became another chapter in political discourse? The calls for a public execution are perhaps the most chilling signal of all. There are voices demanding that if Robinson is put to death, it should be done openly, for all to see, as a kind of brutal justice. But what does that say about us? Have we become so enraged, so desperate, that we now ask for justice to look like vengeance, for punishment to look like spectacle? Are we walking backward into a darker past where justice was carried out in the open square, not to uphold law, but to satisfy anger? And yet in the silence of Robinson's hearings, in the secrecy of his defense, in the controlled language of prosecutors, the truth still feels out of reach. We are told it was political, we are told it was premeditated, we are told justice will be served, but do we believe it? Do we trust it? Or are we beginning to see that justice itself has become as fractured as the politics that led us here? This is not a closed case. This is not a story nearing its end. October 30th is the next chapter, when Tyler Robinson will finally appear in person. That day, we may see him at last, face to face, no longer shielded by a screen. And when that happens, will the secrecy finally end? Or will new questions rise, sharper and more disturbing than before? If you care about the truth, if you care about justice, if you care about understanding how politics, violence, and secrecy collide in America today, you cannot look away. This case is more than headlines. It is a test of justice, a test of society, a test of all of us. Stay with it, follow it, ask questions that others are too afraid to ask. And if you want this story to reach more people, if you believe the truth matters, make sure you subscribe, share, and push this to everyone you know, because this case is not just about Tyler Robinson, not just about Charlie Kirk. It's about the world we are living in and the world we are becoming.